If you are enjoying this podcast and other podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon Shop. Awesome t-shirts and mugs from your favorite shows so you can tout your podcast pride, all while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. And make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com and get your dragon swag on.
To this mythology, Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Hello.
Hi.
What's going on?
Welcome to another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her, Sarah Oliver.
Yeah.
You know, last time when we had Natalie on, we talked about how she was entering the pantheon of people who have been on the show 2 times.
This is a 2-timing how?
This time, well, absolutely true. This time, we are going to create a new pantheon of people who have been on this episode 3 times. Because joining us today is
Steve Martin.
Yeah, fuck you, Natalie, you 2-timing hoe.
It is Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd is our producer and also the founder of Dragon Wagon Radio.
He's our dad.
I'm your podcast daddy.
Yeah,
as Sarah likes to say creepishly,
Hey, Daddy.
making me feel awkward all the time, consistently.
Daddy, I need money.
That's not how this works.
Now sing a song and go upstairs with all of your brothers and sisters.
Goodbye.
So Jake, you were at WonderCon this past weekend.
It was a wondrous convention.
What did you and Alexandra, who was there with you, do?
We mostly wandered around and touted Dragon Wagon Radio and met people that were potential sponsors and partners for various Dragon Wagon shows, as well as just generally leered at cosplayers, because that's what we do.
You leer at them like
like
you
make
judge,
them real
judge
uncomfortable.
them?
No. Just
okay.
like when you like really lock on and you just follow a person for a good 10 minutes and you tell yourself it's okay because they came dressed to con.
There's going to be a documentary about you soon.
There, like you're studying their
too accurate, way too accurate.
You're like studying their makeup and their detail and exactly how it's all put together, but with like the sort of scrutiny that makes a human being feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yes, precisely.
Lakeside in the corner.
There's nothing that I love more than like really good, well thought out cosplay, and there's nothing that I love even more than that than just a really bad one. Just like a morning of, you know what? I'm going to go as Batman, cardboard box and slippers and,
I want to see that
fits,
one.
Right? Yeah,
it's
fun. No, I didn't.
I had some friends who he went with his, actually singular friend, do not know his wife or children, but the family all went to WonderCon together, and he posted that they all cosplayed as, and I feel like it's a joke that probably many people are now making, that they went as Skrulls.
Oh.
Because they didn't have a costume at all, but Skrulls can appear to look like anyone.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Yes.
That's like saying, oh, for Halloween, I'm going as my friend Dave from work that you don't know. Or for Lent, I'm giving up religion. Like, that's that level of joke.
I had a friend growing up.
Which, by the way, I did.
I had a friend growing up who gave up lettuce for Lent.
Well, let us talk more about that.
And that's it. Guys, say goodbye to Jake Lloyd.
We're
turning his microphone off.
Last time, Natalie, she comes with this wealth of astrological knowledge that supplemented the episode. Today, we are tackling 6 more of the Zodiac. Jake, what sort of astrological knowledge are you going to
I can
lay down on us?
I can tell you that Zodiac is Latin for stars and shit.
Okay.
That's the actual Latin. It's the translation. It's loose.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I know nothing about the stars, and I look forward to learning.
But
and
is it true that you... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Even if you think you know something, you find out that you know nothing, and everything is a skinned animal.
Absolutely.
In the sky.
Is it true also that you are the Zodiac killer?
No, everybody knows that that's Ted Cruz's dad.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Wow, yeah.
So we're going to continue where we left off. We finished Virgo, and we are jumping into the next sign in the Zodiac, which is, what do you guys know what comes after Virgo?
Cancer.
No.
Leo.
No. Leo
Wait.
comes before Virgo.
Did they go in order of our Gregorian calendar?
Oh, Taurus.
No, it's not Taurus. They do go in the order of our Gregorian calendar, but it starts with Aries.
Oh, so it doesn't start
which
in
you are,
January.
sir.
Wait,
You're-
which
No,
month?
I am not an Aries.
Oh, I thought you were an Aries.
No,
No,
you
he's a
clearly
Pisces.
our friendship is not what I thought
No,
it was.
he's a Pisces because he's before 21st.
Oh, so you're last.
Oh, save the best for last.
Wait,
baby.
what month was Virgo?
Virgo takes up she's the end of August and beginning of September.
Oh, so obviously this is Scorpio.
No.
the confidence, the absolute
I know.
confidence in which
I'm
you
trying.
delivered that? Oh boy,
We are on to
You had me. I was
the
like, well, she
forgotten
knows.
zodiac, Libra.
Forgot. Oh, nobody cares about the Libras.
Oh, yeah.
Libra is the word that the Romans used as standard unit of weight, like pound or kilogram. So you would weigh some odd Libras in the ancient Romans.
It's like stones.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
roughly 327.4 grams. And I say roughly because it was measured in grain. So
Right.
who knows really?
Sure.
Measured in thoughts and prayers.
Measured in thoughts and prayers. It is commonly thought to be the scales of justice held by Dike, who was the goddess of justice and moral order. Although both Dike and Themis were considered to be the personifications of justice, Dike represented more the justice based on socially enforced norms and conventional rules, human justice, while Themis was the representation of divine justice.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like dogma versus like, oh, this is a human law.
Yeah.
Right.
She was considered to be a young woman holding a balanced scale, and her Roman counterpart, Justitia, you're probably very familiar with because she was depicted exactly the same way, but she was blindfolded.
Oh, that's like our justice, the justice,
Justice
Our Lady Justice? No, Our Lady Peace, the band from the 1990s.
Yes.
What's the name of that statue that we all know and love?
I think it's just justice.
It's just justice.
Just
I thought
justice,
there was
yeah.
more there. Never mind.
Yeah.
my
Justine.
sister's a lawyer. She's gonna get very angry if she finds out I don't know.
There is a Roman myth where she was represented in the sky by the constellation Virgo, as opposed to Erigone, who was the maiden from our last episode. The myth says that Dike lived on Earth during the first two ages of man, the Gold and Silver Ages. During that period, men lived together in peace and grew crops, and there were no diseases. However, men became very greedy, and Dike was enraged and decided to go into the sky. And that's when mankind went into the Bronze Age.
I'm fucking out of here. Whew.
I'm gonna need clarification on the spelling of Dike, please.
It's so traditionally, with Greek pronunciation, the E at the end is it is always said.
Okay.
And so it's spelled like dike.
D-Y or D-I?
D-I.
Gotcha.
D-I-K-E.
Okay, Dike.
Mm-hmm.
I follow.
Yeah. So, however, there's no specific myth where Dike places her scales in the sky. And this is probably because, not spoiler alert, this is, I guess, a surprise to people who know astrology that there used to be no Libra in ancient Greece. Like the constellation itself just didn't exist.
I mean, the stars were there.
Yeah.
The stars were there.
They've been around for a while.
At least like 30 or 40 years,
Yeah,
right?
at least.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, so
They were there when I was a kid.
Right. To clarify, yeah, these stars were created later. No, in Greece, Libra was and is to this day called Kili, which is ancient.
Keely sounds like the drunk girl at a party that nobody invited.
Yeah,
Ew, Kaylee's hair.
got her out. Invite Libra instead. Kili is Greek for claws, and in ancient Greek times, the area of the sky we know as Libra was occupied instead by the claws of the scorpion Scorpius.
Claws.
So they just like straight up removed features from Scorpion. I almost called them Scorpion. Like
Scorpion.
Like,
Get over
here.
here.
Yeah. From Scorpio Sky. They removed pieces of Scorpio Sky, literally, and gave them to a different constellation.
That's exactly what happened, because to the Romans, the idea of justice and law, these were very exciting concepts, and they felt like Libra, the idea of balance, belonged in the sky. The moon was said to have been in Libra when Rome was founded, and
Like it was part of Libra? Like our moon?
like a lot of what astrology is about is like whether the sun or the moon is passing through this constellation. And so the moon was sitting within the constellation Libra when Rome was officially founded.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So it's not like for all time, because I was like, I'm pretty sure that bitch moves around the sky quite a bit.
The Roman writer Manilius specifically said, Italy belongs to the balance, her rightful sign. Beneath it, Rome and her sovereignty of the world were founded. It is the sign in which the seasons are balanced and the hours of night and day match each other. He had a way with words.
Sure he did. I have a question about Dike.
Sure.
So was she representative of balance on the land? Like when everything, was even and there was just enough crops and all this stuff? Like,
yeah. Uh-huh.
So she's not a goddess, is she?
She's a goddess.
Oh, she is. So she is like a goddess of some sort of specific balance?
Yeah, she was one of the...
sorry, I missed the first act of this.
Yeah, she was one of the heroi, which is like the goddesses who are like spirits of specific things.
Gotcha. Right. That's fair. No, that makes sense.
They're seasonal.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I mean, but there's not much of a myth to Libra because of this, because the ancient Greeks didn't have a mythology for it. And thus, as I covered when we were talking about how the Romans adopted Greek mythology, that like they adopted it very practically. They didn't have a lot of rich stories to go along with.
Well, they also seem to like merge a lot of stuff as well. It seems, like almost like Christianity and like paganism. The way like modern times we celebrate pagan holidays as Christian holidays, but if you go back far enough, they were kind of two separate streams. And eventually, they just kind of became one thing.
They against people's warnings,
you don't cross the streams. Everybody knows that. Yeah.
There was
the great God Venkman said that.
I thought you were going to say they were merging like all of our corporations today.
Oh, that's a better
synergizing. Synergy's great, baby.
When you say that, Sarah, you have to clasp your hands together.
Synergy.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's how you'd say it.
Why'd you do that around my throat? So we're moving on to the next zodiac sign.
Thank God.
The next zodiac sign is October 24th through November 22nd, and it is
turkeys.
Scorpio.
Sagittarius.
Turkeys.
Really close.
The story of Scorpio or Scorpius brings us back to Orion, the hunter, and we talked about that when we were talking about Apollo and Artemis.
Was he horny? This is the horniest sign.
Not really. I mean, he kind of. I don't know. We'll get to that.
How does one judge a sign's horniness?
That's all people talk about. Oh, I'm a Scorpio.
It depends on the version of the story. So I'm gonna sort of.
In one tale, he hunts the scorpion, and the other one he has sex with it all night. Fucks it into the stars.
Orion was said to be the tallest and most handsome man of the then known world.
Oh, then he's fucking.
He was often seen hunting in the woods and the hills of ancient Greece with his pack of dogs.
By the way, this story, my origin story, just replaced Greece with Long Island.
Wonderful.
Everybody said the exact same thing about me.
Did you also have a particular favorite hunting dog, the adorable companion Sirius?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Sirius Jones.
His constellation shows him striding across the heavens, flourishing a gleaming sword, and he also has his bejeweled belt, which is where you'll find
the three.
The Crab Nebula.
Right. And that is the only constellation that I recognize when I go outside. The only thing that I can look up in the sky and go and see and go, oh, I know what that is Orion's belt. Like, I can't pick a dipper to save my life.
Oh, wow.
I can't find anything.
What's funny is I find that most people think that they can always just find the Big Dipper. And I've seen so many people in my life point at Orion and be like, look, it's the Big Dipper. And I'm like, no, that's Orion.
I can never find
slapped the teeth out of my mouth because I got it wrong before.
Is that why you have those veneers, those fake? Yeah, I've always wondered.
So Artemis and Orion had a meet cute. They hunted together in their sacred forests. And
he accidentally shot her.
And he was the only man who was ever invited to hunt with her. The version of the story that I told featured Apollo as the antagonist because, twins with his sister. He was overly involved with the notion that his sister might partake in sex despite being a virgin goddess. And so he consulted Hera and...
what would happen? Would she lose her goddess status?
he would be an incestuous brother and jealous because he was like,
okay.
You
so it was
lost-
more personally driven, not like, for the good of all the gods.
Apollo's the worst person.
Yeah, Apollo's the worst person, and he would be like, oh, you chose to have sex with Orion and not me,
Right.
your twin brother?
Right.
Which is not something I ever want to say again. So he consulted Hera, and
It's weird because it's the fourth time you've said that.
I know. And Hera was like, well, I know all about
Cock blocking.
how
It's my personal.
how to cock block,
Yeah,
how
I
to
wrote a
send
book.
animals after people. I sent a crab after Hercules, and boy, that turned out great. I send a scorpion out to go sting Orion. So that version of the story, that's how that goes. The scorpion stings Orion. Orion dies, and Artemis hangs his body in the heavens.
Is the Scorpio constellation and Orion constellation positioned in a way that tells that story in the sky?
It
It is?
Did you listen to the
No.
previous episode where I said that?
No, not at all.
No, me neither.
Okay, I was just curious because I feel like that's the thing that they would do. They'd be like, oh, here's the whole story, the pictograph, if you will, in the sky.
Yeah. So hold your horses, and we'll
Okay.
get to it. So there's another version of the story, and it's has a very similar ending, which is why I'll get to that. There's where Gaia. This is the version of the story I didn't tell. She sent the scorpion to sting Orion because he
Plot
was
twist.
too boastful. He claimed one day, I am so mighty that I could easily rid the entire earth of all beasts and creatures. And
That doesn't sound like my boy.
yeah, that doesn't sound like the guy who had a meet cute with Artemis and had a favorite hunting dog, right?
Mhm.
So as
It
soon,
sounds like the actor who plays him.
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
So as soon as the scorpion, which was released from the breast of Gaia, she like opened up her boob door.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, women have boob doors, and it immediately stung Orion, and its deadly venom sent him straight to his death. The scorpion was sent to the sky by Gaia, not Apollo this time, to mark her victory. After Artemis placed Orion's image in the sky, she cared for Orion's hunting dog Sirius for many years until that dog passed, and then she placed Sirius in the sky beneath Orion so that he could forever be with his owner.
Also, TIL, the internet radio station Sirius with the little dog logo, is apparently based on this, which I never knew.
It's exactly based on this.
Yeah,
so they
he's
know
like
the
a little-
entire story.
He's a little tiny dog, and he looks up, and there's satellite radio. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
There's another version about this entire myth that doesn't involve Artemis at all.
What does TIL mean?
Today I learned it's web speak.
Yeah, I tried to do that in my head. I couldn't do it.
So one
I'm
day,
100.
All I want to say is Sarah, not TFW. No, FTW. Damn it, I screwed up for the win. Never mind, move on.
Oh, I used to think that was fuck the world. I write it all the
Oh,
time. Fuck the world.
Which is the exact opposite of
Yeah.
its intention. That's great. That's like you hear those stories of the grandmas who write LOL because they think it means lots of love. And they're like, oh, your dog died, LOL. And
I'm
it's
her.
like,
WTF? Why the face?
by the face.
So one day, Orion was out in the woods, and instead of meeting Artemis in this sliding doors version of this story, he instead meets 7 beautiful sisters who all look like Gwyneth Paltrow. And they were the daughters of Atlas and Pleione. Orion saw them all and immediately was horny. He wanted to do each and every one of them. 7 sisters, one after the other. The sisters, however,
I've been there.
were terrified.
Yeah, sisters aren't into fucking the same guy.
And they cried out to which god?
Ooh.
I'll give you a hint. Not who you'd expect.
Zeus.
They cried out to Zeus to save them.
God.
Zeus heard their pleas, and he's like, hot women that I have not had sex with yet are in trouble. I will do something. But the problem was, and of course, I'm taking a little bit of liberty with this, but in my brain, he must have been in the middle of a bender with his 2 children. He was hanging out with Hermes, and he was hanging out with Athena, and he was like, kids, I I just got word that these 7 hot ladies need my help. Hermes, what should I do? Lay it on me.
I mean, obviously, you got to go and got to help the ladies because you never know. You never know more ladies to have sex with.
Yeah, but how? Athena, you know how to help people.
That if I were going to give you one piece of advice, it would be turn them into Swiffer products.
Oh my God! Always with the Swiffer products. With
Wait. No, what do you always do though? Like I like where you're going with this.
You drink a lot. I have an aviary. You want to turn into some fucking birds?
Yes, I love it.
Always with the birds in this family.
So Zeus did exactly that. He helped the 7 sisters by turning them all into doves so they could fly away from Orion. They flew up to Mount Olympus and he caught them all in a bird cage and probably proceeded to have sex with all of them, probably while they were still birds.
Is this what that Prince song is about?
Yeah.
Yeah, the doves cry.
And after he probably killed them all with his dick.
Oh my God.
While he was he put their bodies
It is what the Prince song is about.
This is what it sounds like. He put their bodies up in the heavens, and that's that star group, the 7 sisters, the Pleiades. Or in Japanese, that's Subaru, which is why that
the Subaru cars have 7 stars as a logo.
Yep.
Each one represents a dove who's been fucked by Zeus.
Wow.
There in the sky, Zeus's sacred animal, Taurus the bulls, protects them from Orion, who, if you look up in the sky, they're in that order. It's Orion, Taurus, and then the Pleiades.
And Taurus faces Orion.
Yeah, and then the Pleiades are at Taurus's back. The as punishment for chasing the 7 sisters, Zeus decided that he sent the scorpion to sting him, and he died that way.
What is this shit? You can't just have guys chasing women around trying to have sex with them. Not in my watch. It's not the world I want to live in.
Dad, sometimes I think you're really disillusioned.
So the additional punishment is that he wanted this to be a lampooning of Orion, he could never. He's positioned specifically so that he has to face this bull in order to reach the sisters. He will never reach the sisters. Additionally, Orion and Scorpio are positioned in the sky as such that every time Scorpio is rising above the horizon, Orion is dipping down. So he's always
looks like an attacking.
So he's always running away. They're never in the sky at the same time.
Forever Benny Hill.
Mm-hmm. So when Scorpio's in the sky,
Time lapse of the Orion.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, when Orion's in the sky, there are officially no constellations that you can see,
except for Orion.
Well, when he's not in the sky,
what do you mean when
it's all Greek to you.
Literally.
Yeah. All right, so. Next constellation. Sagittarius, November 23rd to December 21st. Ooh. The constellation of Sagittarius is depicted as an archer who is also a centaur.
By the way, I am familiar with the layout. This is a lot of lines for just a very few stars. I've seen this constellation, and it's a bit of a stretch. I just want to put that out there.
So the story here...
No reaction.
No reaction.
He's like, I have something I'm going to read now.
Commonly and incorrectly, if you ask most historians, he is thought to be named after Chiron, the most famous of the centaurs. We've talked about him before. He was semi-divine. He was the son of the god Poseidon.
I'm pretty divine.
And semi-divine. He was taught by the god Apollo and the goddess Artemis. From them he learned both wisdom and spirituality. Guess who he learned what from?
Wisdom from Artemis.
Nope, spirituality from Artemis.
All right.
Wisdom from Apollo. Apollo's wisdom.
You just gotta kill them all.
Spit in their mouth. They love it.
Yep.
So he dwelt in a cave high up in the rocky, snowy sides of Mount Pelion, and he was the oldest and wisest of all the centaurs and very, very strong. In fact, he was so famous that kings all around the world he was trusted to teach all of their sons.
He taught Achilles, right?
Yes. He did He also certainly accepted bribes to allow these famous kings to...
Aunt Becky
Yeah.
getting in there always.
Yeah, Aunt Becky's child was taught along with Hercules and Jason and Achilles.
So
can
his
see all her YouTube
teachings are like
tutorials.
the OG Ivy League.
Yeah.
He was the guy that they were like, oh, there's no better teacher than this dude.
Mhm.
So everybody send their kids to him.
His name really popped on a resume.
It really did.
His
As-
CV.
As the myth goes, Kirian was destined to suffer a gruesome death, which is a terrible fortune cookie to get. When Hercules was returning home to the region of Tiryns after killing the Erymanthian boar, which
You lost me.
it was one of his labors. He had to kill the Erymanthian boar.
Okay.
He had
Was that the guy that in the labyrinth? Or was that's the Minotaur? Never
that's
mind.
the Minotaur.
Sorry,
the
wrong
boar.
story.
The boar was just
Just
a boar.
some pig.
Oh,
Yeah.
just a big.
Yeah. It was a big scary pig though. Afterwards, he had a violent encounter with drunken centaurs, and he managed to drive them away. But he drove them away towards where Kirian lived,
Right.
and so he had to hole up and defend Kirian's place with Kirian, shooting his arrows that were filled with hydra venom.
Ooh.
And Kirian, who was remember, he's semi-divine, but he was still accidentally struck with one of Hercules' own arrows, like in the fray. Like someone, Wonder Woman, deflected his arrow shot. It sailed through the air and landed
he rolled
in
a critical
Kirian.
failure and shot one of his quest mates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
So Kirian, being semi-divine, could not and would not die. But
I'm not gonna do it.
But he was in excruciating pain because of the poison, and just like
still not gonna do it.
he was in such agony that the decision of what to do rested upon Zeus. And I'm going to say Zeus was still having a bender with Athena and Hermes at this point. And so he said, all right, kids, Kirian is in a lot of pain right now. He's like that centaur. He's he's my nephew. Like, I have to figure out what to do. Athena, go.
Turn him into a Roomba. Look, I just need someone to clean my place.
Would you get your hand out of my face, sister? God.
All right, Hermes, what do you got this time?
I mean, you can put him out of his misery. This poor guy. I know that you're probably just going to turn yourself into something and fuck him, but I'd prefer if you just put this poor guy out of his misery.
I like it exactly what you're going to do. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to make him, he's semi-divine right now. Let's make him not divine at all.
Oh, yeah. Turn it off.
Yeah, great. I like
I
it.
wish you would turn it off every now and then.
Got
You
us
have a problem.
What's my problem? That I love cleaning my apartment. I love cleaning it.
So, Kirian was relinquished of his divine status so that he could die, rather than he could just maybe take the poison away.
Turn
But
the shit up.
Kirian was left to die.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Hermes. So then his body was put up in the heavens. However, historians mostly do not think that this is right at all. Because
What do you mean by right?
Historians.
Like this is an accurate retelling of the story?
Because it's like the ancient Greeks
Right.
did not look up in the sky and say, yeah, that's Kirian.
Right.
They're saying that is
it was Macaulay.
that's wrong because there is already a constellation called Centaurus that is meant to depict Kirian. And they say instead, centaurs are never depicted as archers in classical art. However, Crotus, who was the father of Pan, was said to have invented archery and often went hunting on horseback. And that there is a story that was recovered. Crotus lived on Mount Helicon among the Muses, who enjoyed his company. They sang for him. They all lived together blissfully. When it was his time to pass, the Muses requested that Zeus place him among the stars, where he is seen demonstrating the art of archery. And in the sky, he was either given legs of a horse because he was a keen horseman, or because something got lost in translation.
Oh, so this is like almost like a design firm where the boss was like, "Oh, this is what I want," and then like the three people in charge of it all came at it from a different point of view, and you ended up with like this terrible design.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, it's like this weird
mhm.
mutagen spliced together. Interesting.
That's funny that no matter how they look at it, though, they can't unsee horse feet.
Right,
which
right.
is like, you could, it's just stars. You could just give them human feet.
Which, again, as I prefaced at the beginning of this specific story, it's a stretch. There's not a lot of dots in that constellation.
That's
Well,
funny.
An additional thing is that a lot of this history comes from because the Sumerians were looking up in the stars first, and they had their own constellations. And so, in the Sumerian constellation, on top of Sagittarius, is a flying horse.
Okay.
So like
a
horse,
Pegasus. Almost.
yeah. So horse legs are there across the board, and maybe there was some sort of like, why are there horse legs? Why do some people see horse legs? This is.
I'm a designer, and I always have the problem. I accidentally put horse legs on everything.
I've seen you do it.
Yeah.
You should see the bottom of the Dragon Wagon logo.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So many horse legs at first. It took us like 15 tries for me not to draw horse legs.
All right, you ready? What's next?
Sagittarius.
I can't guess because if I'm wrong, it's within Alexandra's birthday, and that means that I don't know her sign. So
December 22nd to January 20th is...
It's the one right before you. What's right before Aquarius?
It's Chelsea's sign.
Cancer.
Chelsea Clinton?
No.
No, Cancer's in June.
Leo.
It's Capricorn.
Oh, yeah. I thought we already did that one.
Something about apricots and acorns all mashed together.
Chelsea's not a Capricorn. She's a bitch.
Oh, jeez.
A bitch up in the sky.
Former guest of this show being called out.
I love her.
Not in the Three Timers Club. That's all I want to say.
The story
Where's my
of...
jacket? Am I going to get a jacket?
You
Yes.
get a little cape.
Three Timers cape?
For your wiener.
I will. Wiener cape? Social media is going to be a buzzing.
A buzzing.
It's a napkin.
The story of Capricorn is associated with the birth of Zeus. If you remember, when Rhea gave birth to baby Zeus, she feared that Cronus would devour her child, just as he had with the previous ones.
Mm-hmm.
So she secretly took her child to Crete, where he was safely kept in a cave, where he was nursed and cared for by Amalthea, whose name means tender. She was a goat.
Yep.
And she looked after sweet baby Zeus.
And he never understood healthy boundaries around animals again.
I mean, that's what the therapist would say.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
It's Vasya Masa.
Right.
I'm Freud.
Tell me about your childhood.
When Zeus later became Lord of the Universe,
Oh, okay.
he...
When did that happen?
Yeah, wow.
I mean, to the Greeks, yeah.
He hasn't beaten Brock Lesnar, though.
No one can. He did not forget his goat mother, Amalthea, who had nursed him so lovingly. So
He thanked her at the Oscars.
So he did what to her?
he
her?
threw that bitch up in the heavens.
But first, he did what to her?
Oh, no.
Skinned her. You know he's a skinner.
Something similarly violent, but no.
He didn't have sex
Did
with
he rape
did
her?
No. He tore...
Decapitated her?
Don't say it like it's not something he'd do.
The shock on your face.
No, of course he didn't do that. He just grabbed her firmly by one of the horns and ripped it off her head.
Oh.
He took that horn and turned it into the horn of plenty, which is always filled with whatever delicious food or drink its owner may wish for and is never empty.
She was dead when he ripped it off?
Wait,
No,
is that
still alive.
Is that where we get like the Thanksgiving horn filled with the cornucopia?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not a goat horn.
I know,
Where the
but I
fuck
mean,
did
the
you grow up?
I've
Giant
already
goats.
established this. I
grew
was
up-
running around naked on Long Island hunting with my favorite dogs. Pay attention.
I thought you grew up in Skyrim.
Oh, I don't get the reference. It's funny because I do. What was I going to say? Yeah, it's just when you said that was the image that came to mind. Was like, you say it's a goat horn filled with stuff.
Yeah.
And that was, and I don't know, sometimes weird shit has to do with stuff that we have in our days.
You know,
it's a fair question.
And I wasn't saying it wasn't fair. I just don't know the answer to that.
No, it's fair. Well, guess you're
Well,
not.
Don't have a
educated.
show. If you can't answer fucking everything.
All right. Well, here's the question that you might be asking yourself is like, hey, Capricorn is a goat fish. What's the deal? You're
What?
just talking.
Wait, it is?
Yeah. You guys,
That's right. Right.
He's got like the front end of a goat and the end
It's
of
a little tail.
the tail of a fish. Yeah.
It looks
So-
like something.
I missed that one.
It looks like something out of Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah, well, I'd believe it not.
So because of that, even though the story of Amalthea being placed in the heavens by Zeus after he ripped off her horn is a thing,
Historians.
historians, are you ready for some arguing historians?
Oh, God.
My favorite topic.
During the battle of the gods and the titans, there are stories that Pan was around and that Pan blew a conch shell to help put the enemy.
Pan again.
Yeah.
I hope this all happened over one lunch because this shouldn't be anyone's job to argue back and forth for years.
Yeah. So he blew this conch shell, and according to Eratosthenes, his connection with the conch shell accounts for his fishy nature in the sky, which seems not good. So let's try out someone else. Hyginus says that that this is an absurd notion. He instead cites this time on a later occasion where Pan is helping the gods in this battle against Typhon, who was that child of Gaia, the one with the crazy tentacle legs, and they had to like drop a mountain on top of him to kill him.
Like a Chulu, like a sea beast, like a kraken.
I think some Cthulhu stuff is part of Typhon for sure. Pan's suggestion during this battle was that the gods disguised themselves as animals to elude this monster. Pan took refuge in a river and turned just the lower part of his body into a fish during this part of the fight.
If you think about it, you can still like doggy paddle with your front little goat legs and shake your little fish butt.
Mm-hmm. Which also doesn't make sense, though, because Pan, despite having horns,
only has one.
His face and upper body are still humanoid. So it's not like Capricorn isn't a human man with a fishtail and horns. There's something's amiss with Capricorn. Something's rotten in the state of Chelsea.
Pan.
I've always said.
By the way, Pan must be some of the inspiration for Del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth, because wasn't he like a goat pan creature fauna?
Yeah.
No,
of
that
course.
has to be what that is.
Mm-hmm. So that's sort of the confusing thing with Capricorn. We don't know.
I didn't follow a word you said.
The mystery fish butt. Hashtag mystery fish butt.
Hashtag mystery fish butt.
Get it going. We'll make a t-shirt.
It's horrible. Move on.
All right.
She's so done with it.
January 21st to February 19th.
No one important is born at that time.
That's absolutely
never.
True.
Aquarius.
The constellation of Aquarius shows a person pouring water out of a jug. And it is thought...
That's so you.
Yeah. It is thought that the story behind this group of stars is that of Ganymede.
She was thirsty.
Ganymede is a man. He was a boy. He was the son of, or a youth.
A beautiful youth?
A beautiful youth.
Okay.
Are there any other kinds?
Ganymede was the son of...
Not in this time.
Tros, who...
God bless you.
Tros is who
you
the kingdom of Troy was named after.
Oh.
The young prince was the most exquisite and handsome youth that ever lived. And he was so adored.
Another thing that they said about me growing up on Long Island. It's a lot of similarities between these people and me, I find.
He was adored and admired by both gods and mortals. Zeus, who was especially fond of beautiful people, as we know, was totally
ready to
infatuated
get up
with
inside him.
Ganymede's external appearance. Simultaneously, creeping out of the shadows was Eos, goddess of the dawn, who was, as we remember from her chapter, she's thirsty.
The way that you described that, I pictured the like old timey sneaking piano keys, like as he like tiptoed out of the shadows.
Eos, she planned to steal him away at dawn, but as she like thinks about doing this, Rumor, the spirit of rumors, reports to Olympus, and Zeus is just waking up from his bender with his kids, and Rumor appears, and she's like, Zeus.
What's going on? Why am I sleeping next to a Swiffer?
I thought you should know that that sexy boy down there on Earth.
Which one?
Ganymede.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the one you've been eyeing. Eos is gonna steal him at dawn.
Steal him?
Yeah, she's gonna take him to her little fortress and do away with him.
Steal what's mine. I put my stamp on that hot little ass.
So Zeus did, perhaps at the advice of Athena, he turned himself into a bird. He turned himself into an enormous eagle, like from Lord of the Rings. And he raced down to Earth and captured the handsome youth just before Eos emerged as dawn. And she was like, where did he go? Like right when he showed up. He brought him up to Mount Olympus, where he proceeded to ravage him, presumably still as a giant eagle.
Oh, no.
As
I have talons.
As compensation for spiriting away his son, Zeus presented King Tros with what do you think is fair compensation for a stolen son.
In-N-Out gift card.
Jake?
Bed Bath & Beyond gift card?
You guys are both so close. It was a pair of fine horses.
Oh.
God, that would be so much better for my mom. She'd love it.
And they'd be easier to draw because I'm already drawing the horse feet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Put those in the stars.
Up there on Olympus, Hera was like, "Who is this boy?" And Zeus said, "Oh, he's clearly my personal cupbearer."
See this spot I stick things in? Shows a cup up his ass.
The historian Robert Graves tells that this myth has became so highly popular in ancient Greece and Rome, where it was regarded to signify divine endorsement for homosexuality. That like, if Zeus is going to capture this boy and do this, then clearly this is okay. Only Hera is not okay with it, and no one cares about Hera.
What about the youth? He didn't sound too okay with it at first.
He has no voice in this.
Okay, that's true.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Was there not a question on episode 50
Mhm.
about things that Zeus turned into?
Yes.
And wasn't eagle on the list? And you said that he didn't turn into an eagle?
No. That is the opposite of the
I'm
question.
misremembering that?
Yeah.
Okay, I see it here. I'm looking at it because I realized that you can't ask a question if you haven't gone over that myth yet.
Oh,
Well,
get fucked.
So
Yeah,
we
get
did-
fucked, Paul.
we did cover this myth on the episode about Zeus and all the things that he fucked.
Epic.
All right, well, get fucked, Sarah. I tried
Edit
to help
this
you out and
part
defend
out.
you. I tried to defend you, and it turns out, all right, never mind.
Let's just get on to that final constellation. We're talking, of course, about February 20th to
yeah,
March 20th.
buddy.
Pisces.
My fishies.
Pisces.
There's a reason we're all so sexy, you know.
I like the fishes.
I
Those are
come
so
from the water.
delicious.
As this is
I feel like
your
we sang two
as
different
this is
songs.
your zodiac, Jake, what would be the ideal myth for you about what your zodiac sign would be?
Well, the most handsome youth in all the land who walked around naked hunting on Long Island, Jake Lloyd, clearly was, sent into the sea because he was too good for humankind, and they couldn't decide what creature to turn him into, and so they turned him into two fishes and sent him into the sky. I don't know. That's the best I got.
That is the most
This is
bizarre.
exactly
like,
right.
I think of like all of like the male power fantasies that could have been created, and that was not one. Like
Yeah.
it was like he was beautiful. It was
So
just
they made him go and take a nap.
I'm going to be talking about what I just said in therapy. Don't worry.
So the image of two fish swimming in different directions make the constellation of Pisces. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, was thought to be the source of inspiration for this particular constellation.
Go on.
After Zeus had fought his father Cronus, he defeated the race of giants who were the children of Gaia. And because Gaia could never be pleased with anything, in revenge for the destruction of her children, Gaia gave birth to the aforementioned horrible monster Typhon. He was the largest and most frightening creature ever born. From the thighs down, he had a mass of coil snakes. His arms were so long that when he spread them out, he reached 100 leagues each way. Let loose by his mother Gaia, Typhon thundered towards the Olympian home of the gods, declaring war on all of them. And the gods hurried to disguise themselves in hope that the horrible creature would not find them. So Zeus, first, he's like, I'm going to take off as an animal. What animal am I going to turn into?
Yeah, bird.
He turned
Bull.
He turned neither. He turned into a ram.
Oh, I was going to say goat next, which is pretty much a ram.
Shit.
Next, Hera transformed herself into a
Owl.
Giraffe.
white cow.
Ah, so close.
Next, Artemis became a what?
Elephant.
Black panther.
Oh, close. She turned into a kitty cat.
Oh.
Next,
Like a regular house
Uh-huh.
cat?
yeah. Next, Hermes turned into a
Turtle.
Smurf.
an ibis. And finally, Aries.
Which is like some sort of fauna, right?
Ibis is a. I mean.
Oh no, is it a bird? Wait,
It's
what is
a
it?
bird,
Oh,
yeah.
it's a bird. Never mind.
Yeah, when you see, fauna is.
I guess
all,
I always
all
assume-
animals.
I guess I always picture like deer and
Uh-huh.
that sort of object, something with antlers. But you're right. I'm dumb.
So
I don't know what it is.
what?
At least I'm smarter than her.
Finally,
No,
Aries
sorry.
became a what?
Aries.
Mhm.
I don't know.
A fish?
A dolphin.
A wild boar.
Oh God. You said finally. So where does
Yeah.
the fish come from, bitch?
So Okay, well, the people who
I
are
like what you did there.
of the people who are not Aphrodite.
Okay.
So left alone as all of her family members turn into animals and run away from her.
Did nobody tell her? Like,
Nobody-
why?
She was in the middle of breastfeeding Eros.
It was like a game of telephone, and they kept saying, we're turning into an animal, and then the last person said, like, just stay here and hang out.
Yeah.
I think Ares probably went as a wild boar to warn her, and then she was like turned to him and was like, shh, baby's sleeping. So she's there holding her infant son, and when she sees Cronus approaching, she looks over to a window in Mount Olympus, and she's like, fuck, and she just takes a
Cronus or the big creature thing?
Oh, sorry, I said Cronus and I meant Typhon.
Okay, Typhon. I was like, I got very confused.
Yeah, that's good. I do this. I'm sure people listening know that I do this sometimes. Like I remember I said Pasithia when I meant to say Penthesilea because there are a lot of names.
I got you. I'm here for you. I got you, boo.
So Typhon's approaching Mount Olympus. Aphrodite dives from the tallest tower with her baby Eros in arms.
That's advisable.
And lands in a river below.
Oh, I thought you were going to land like 5 feet short of it. Just like, crunch.
Rivers aren't. Yeah.
Just brains herself on the rocks next to the river. As soon as she entered the river, she looked for inspiration of what she could transform into.
She became a big mouth bass.
And so she became a whale. She turned herself and her infant son.
So that's where there's two of them.
Into two fish. And when the fierce monster was finally captured by Zeus and all the Olympians, transformed back into their original form, Aphrodite was so grateful to the fish who had inspired her, who had lent their form to her when they were distressed, that she put their zodiac image up in the night sky.
Okay. As a Pisces, I love that story, and I'm also a little bummed out that the first thing she saw wasn't a platypus. 'Cause that would have been a way better sign for me.
I mean, yeah. They were
just like two platypus. Just like, come on now, that's beautiful.
Where are platypuses like native to Australia, though?
I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
That's where all the weird
I
shit
have
is.
one. I do have one question about the sign right before Aquarius.
Yeah.
So everyone's getting skinned. Everyone's, in honor of their being put in the sky. Why was this beautiful youth put in the sky? Did he just like grow up? You have chest hair in the sky with you.
Yeah, I think as soon as he went from
used up
a twink to a bear, he was done with him. Yeah.
And probably literally skinned him and put him in the sky.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous story.
That is the 12 zodiac now. We have covered them. However, you might have heard this before if you're listening at home, or Jake, Sarah, you might have heard this too, that there is a constellation that is considered the 13th zodiac. According to modern constellation boundaries, the sun spends more time in the constellation Ophiuchus, which is I have like the pronunciations sitting right here next to me.
You still can't do it.
Ophiuchus.
Ophiuchus.
It's
my friend drives one of those.
Yeah. It spends more time, the sun spends more time in Ophiuchus than it does in Scorpio in the first part of December. And so it's considered this thought. The story of Ophiuchus is another one that we've already covered. It is the god of medicine, Asclepius, who you might remember the story. There was Glaucus, who was the young son of King Minos. He fell into that jar of honey while playing and drowned in honey.
Yeah.
And then he sent Asclepius to do the beginning of a CSI episode while he was looking at Glaucus in the honey, to which he removed his sunglasses and said, "What, Jake?"
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. Caught me.
He finds a. Let's hear it.
Just tell me it again.
Yeah. Asclepius looks at the body of Glaucus drowned in a bottle of honey, and he removes his glasses and turns to the camera and says,
"Silly Pooh Bear."
He takes off his glasses and says to the camera, "Sarah,
someone had a sweet tooth."
Okay. Yeah. I buy it.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, that's Entourage. Damn
yeah, I think it's
What? I was like, what are you doing?
Who are you?
So anyway, when he was contemplating this body, a snake slithered into the room and he immediately killed it with his staff.
How come every episode I'm on, a snake dies?
I think you were on this episode.
Yeah, you were on this one.
And then the other...
And then his wife comes along and is like, oh, hey, Snake Honey, what happened to you? Dead.
Yeah, and then so she revives his her snake friend.
Yeah.
And so this is why Asclepius is associated with snakes, and that's why the constellation is a man bearing a snake. There's this additional piece that I found that in another version, he received from the goddess Athena the blood of Medusa, because she can never let that poor woman have any peace. And the blood apparently of Medusa, the blood that flowed on the veins on her left side was poison, and the blood on the right side of her body could raise the dead, because they had no idea of how anatomy worked.
Yeah.
Because it never goes back and forth.
Prove it wrong. Prove it wrong.
All right, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to bite into both of my wrists.
Okay, give me the left one.
All
okay.
Right. Oh,
I feel weird inside.
Sarah?
Oh, I'm slowly dying.
I'm going to use a straw not to mess my lipstick up.
Oh, my heart is slowing down.
All I feel is euphoria.
I don't feel so good.
Well, great. So that's we've officially done it. We've attacked
We've done
Zodiac.
it. We've drank your blood.
Mm-hmm.
Bada boom, bada bing, bada bitch.
Dun, 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 this Thursday on Fox. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, he's so beautiful. I hope he picks me.
Yeah, that kid's really beautiful. I hope he picks me.
The Bachelor like you've never seen it before.
The thing I love about him is how he's so youthful and so beautiful. I don't know anything else about him, but I'm sure we'll really hit it off. I'm going to surprise him at dawn.
When I see him, I'm going to turn into an eagle and take him up into the clouds.
Inappropriate love is written in the stars.
I just want to steal him. You want to do horrible things, like with your talons.
Yeah.
And your beak.
Uh-huh.
And your creepy little eagle tongue.
Okay.
This show has officially jumped the shark. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey, wait. Why is there a shark now? That's a literal shark.
I turned into a shark now. I'm going to take you away, Ganymede. The Bachelor, Ganymede.
All right.
All right.
Well, that was awful.
Yeah, it sure was. Well, Jake, thanks for... What?
I said hi.
Hi. Thanks for... normally we just thank guests for being on our show.
But thank you for being our daddy.
Your pod dad?
Yeah, thanks for letting us sit on your couches and...
Pet your dog and your cats.
That's fine. You're going to pay for all this eventually.
That sounds like
with
a threat.
blood.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, I still have a straw inserted into Paul. I won't tell you where.
Additionally, one of the things that Jake does for us is he scolds us for doing our outro poorly. So, Jake, if you could set the bar. And
Jake it away.
Oh, my God. Please, if you were enjoying this podcast, do these poor podcasters a favor and make sure you're following them on all social media at _mythunderstood. And I know that they're going to be all like coy about it. Like, if you like us, maybe follow us. No. Listen, we have the numbers. We know how many people are listening to the show.
And we know where you live.
And we support you guys. But if those numbers could equate to actual followers, then there's a visible, tangible proof of just how popular this show is, which is something that this show very desperately needs to help get partners and get those sponsorships. So if you really enjoyed the show, head to social media at _mythunderstood. They're not obnoxious. They don't post too much. In fact, I yell at them for not posting enough.
Mm-hmm.
So please go and follow them. Follow them each individually at the Paul Bianchi on Instagram and at the Sarah Oliver on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes.
And make sure you're following Dragon Wagon on all social media at It's Dragon Wagon. Hey, do you want some sweet Myth Understood merchandise? You want to show off your Mythfit pride? Yeah, fuck yeah, you do, because this show is fantastic. Go to dragonwagonshop.com and support the show. It is the absolute best way to show your support. If you want to show your support a little bit less because you're broke or you don't want to spend any money, then head over to iTunes and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Another fantastic way to aid the show and, help them find a couple more listeners. People are going to search Mythology Podcast. They're going to read the reviews before they give it a listen. And, let's be honest, 5 stars. These guys are fucking great and you love them and their friendship is goddamn magical. So do it to it.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was That was pretty good.
Excuse me, how can they find you?
Oh, that's right. Find me on Twitter at LiquidJake and on Instagram at Jake Lloyd. And if you don't, or if you haven't, I should say, check out Dungeons and Dragon Wagon, the show in which your very own Paul Bianchi is the dungeon master for a homebrew D&D inspired RPG game recorded and released out into the world for your entertainment. We've had guests of quests on, like the Sarah Oliver.
Who, me?
Yeah, so if you haven't checked that out, please do. And as always, just, give Dragon Wagon Radio Podcast a chance. Scroll through there. There's tons of fun stuff.
All right. That was amazing. We're going to edit that and put it at the end of every... But understood now.
That'd be wonderful.
Well, guys, we'll see you soon. We'll never see you. You'll hear from us if you keep listening. Bye.
Bye, Sarah.
Night-night.
Was the name signed to the world's most famous plays and poems a pseudonym? Was the man from Stratford that history attributed the works to even capable of writing them? Who was Edward de Vere, 17th Earl of Oxford, and is there any chance he was the actual author of those legendary works? Who was the writer behind the pen name William Shakespeare? Join me, Stephen Sable, as me and my fellow Oxfordians set out to answer all of those questions and many more on Don't Quill the Messenger, Revealing the Truth of Shakespeare Authorship, found right here on Dragon Wagon Radio or wherever podcasts are found.
It's Dragon Wagon.